A police cruiser idled in my driveway when I returned home. The officer stood on my porch, hat in hand. "We took your nephew into custody for trespassing," he said. My throat tightened. My nephew died 7 years ago. His face flickered, confusion, then unease. At the station, I saw him. Same sharp jawline, same restless eyes. He sat in the holding cell like a ghost made flesh. He looked up at me, recognition sparking across his face. "Uncle," he whispered. The ground shifted beneath me. Time folded back on itself. But the truth wasn't resurrection, it was deception. And I felt the cold seed of betrayal crack open inside me. They said the accident was fatal. They said no remains were recoverable. A fire on the mountain, they told us. My brother and his wife buried an empty coffin, and I buried my belief in miracles. But the boy wasn't dead, which meant everything I'd mourned, every sleepless night staring at the ceiling, had been orchestrated. The officer gave me paperwork. Trespassing, breaking into an abandoned cabin. He called it juvenile delinquency. I called it a resurrection with fingerprints. I asked the boy questions. He looked at me like someone conditioned to keep his mouth shut, flinching at shadows, eyes darting toward the mirrored glass. That's when I realized. This wasn't about him. It was about them. My brother, his wife, the parents who had declared him dead when he was still breathing. Why? The question gnawed at me like rust on iron. And deep down, I already knew the answer wasn't love. I moved carefully, always careful. Years in military intelligence taught me the value of silence and the leverage of secrets. I started digging. Court records, insurance claims, hospital logs. I found nothing where something should be. The trail of his death was too clean, too intentional. I checked phone records, traced financial statements. Payments appeared every month from an unlisted account, always to my brother, always after the boy's supposed death. A deal, a transaction, not grief. I confronted no one, not yet. I needed precision, not rage. Rage clouds judgment. Rage gets you killed. So I watched instead. I followed my brother's wife to the outskirts of town. She met a man in a black sedan, exchanged envelopes, glanced around like prey convinced it was predator. And then I saw it. A government seal on the paper she tucked away. This wasn't just a family betrayal. This was a contract. The file came in a brown envelope left at my door. No return address, just truth, heavy as lead. Inside, adoption papers, falsified death certificate, payments listed as protection services, signatures from people I once trusted. The boy wasn't dead. He was sold. My brother and his wife had staged their child's death for money, for freedom, for whatever fantasy they thought was worth more than blood. I sat in the dark, reading every page twice. My hands were steady, but inside, something ancient and furious moved. I walked into their kitchen the next morning, laid the documents on the table between them without a word. My brother paled. His wife shook. "Explain," I said. No yelling, no threats. Just the scalpel edge of certainty. He stammered. She wept. Excuses spilled. Debts, blackmail, desperation. Lies wrapped in desperation. I didn't flinch. I just watched the collapse. That night I returned to the station. The boy was waiting in the visitor's room, his eyes heavy with questions he didn't know how to ask. I slid the folder across to him. "Read," I said. He did. His hands trembled as the truth unfolded. Betrayal carved across his young face like scars. I leaned in close, voice low and precise. "They killed you on paper, sold your life for a price. But now you hold the evidence." He looked at me, eyes wet, jaw set. For the first time, he wasn't a ghost. He was something sharper. "They'll pay?" he whispered. They already are, I told him. Every breath you take is a reminder they can't bury. Every step you walk back into this world is the weight of their undoing. The revenge wasn't mine to carry, it was his. I had only lit the fuse. I didn't return to my brother's house. There was nothing left for me there. Bloodlines are just scaffolding. What matters is what you build within them. My brother built betrayal. His wife built greed. And together, they buried a son still breathing. Now, their house was a coffin of their own making. I walked away, steady, unshaken. The boy had the truth in his hands. They would see him in every nightmare, every headline, every silence between them. That was punishment enough. I didn't need to watch them crumble. I already knew they would. And sometimes knowing is more satisfying than seeing. They thought they buried him, but all they buried was themselves.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.